Hello students, in our last class we have started learning how to use Excel as a database. For that we have already learned what is a database, what are the components of a database, what is field, what is record, what is form, how to enter data using a form, how to add a new record in a form, or how can we search a record or sort a record, etc. All those things we have learnt in our previous class. Today we will start with filtering data. Okay. So Microsoft Excel provides several ways to analyze data in a list. The filter feature allows us to see only those records that we want to display, while it hides the rest of the data temporarily from the view. So what does filtering means, or filter means? Filter means retrieving or fetching only those data that are needed by us or that are needed for our work. Okay, so what is that? Suppose in a for a database of a classroom, okay, there are suppose 20 students. So I want only those students whose name is yes. Okay, so that will be our criteria, that so that the database only shows us the result of the students of the name whose name is yes, and rest of the data should be hidden temporarily. Okay, so this is what filtering is. We can filter a list to display records that meet specific criteria by using the auto filter command. Okay, so how can we use that filtering options? By the auto filter command. So how can we do that? For doing that, we have to select any cell within the database range. Suppose the cell will be D1. Now we have to click on the filter button in the sort and filter group on the data tab. Okay, now the small arrows will be added to each field name. These arrows are used to specify condition to filter data. Now we have to click on the arrow next to the field name. Suppose the name is Hindi in the cell D1. Okay, now we have to select the check boxes of the values 88 and 98 from the drop down list, and we have to click on the OK button. What will this option do? Whenever you are clicking the OK button, the list will be filtered and display only those records that meet the criteria of marks 88 and 98. Okay, so those who have got only 88 and 98 in Hindi, only those results will be shown, rest of the records will be hidden temporarily. Okay. So how can we deactivate the filter? To deactivate the filter, we have to click on the clear button present in the sort and filter group of the data tab. Okay, so where we have to click? We have to click on the clear button that is present in the sort and filter group on the data tab. Okay, or we can click on the filter symbol directly on the field name and select the clear filter from the field name option. Okay, so here we have applied the filter on the Hindi field name, so the command will be clear filter from Hindi. Okay, this will be the option where we have to click. Now using advanced filter. What is advanced filter or why it is used? The advanced filter option is used to filter the data in multiple fields, okay, using specified criteria. Okay, so now in normal filtering we are filtering data only in one table or one field. Okay, so using the advanced filter we can filter data in multiple fields. Okay, so how can we do that? For doing that, we have to insert at least 3 blank rows above the range which is to be used as a criteria range. Okay, so we have to you can see in the picture figure number 4.8, you have to leave at least this type of 3 blank rows. Okay, by clicking on the how can you click insert blank rows? By clicking on the home tab and then select the insert option, then from that insert option you have to click on the insert sheet rows option. Okay, this is how you can insert the blank rows. Now the criteria range must have column labels. Okay, so every columns should have their labels. Okay, there should not be any blank row between the criteria values and the range. Now we have to select the cell range, suppose A4 semicolon D4 as shown in the figure 4.8. Okay, so you can look into the figure 4.8. Now you have to press the Ctrl plus C option to copy the range. How can you copy the range? To copy the range you have to press the Ctrl plus C, that is the copy shortcut, you all know. Next what you have to do, you have to select the cell A1 and press Ctrl plus V. Then you have to type the criteria which you want to match in the row below the column labels. That is type equals to 1000 under the field name salary. Okay, so this is a table which shows the name, the department, designation and the salary of employees. Okay, so you have to type equals to then 10,000 under the field name salary. Okay, as you can see in the figure 4.8. Now you have to click on a cell within the data range. Next you have to select the data tab and click on the advanced button. Okay, in the sort and filter group. Then you have to specify the list range $8 $4, that is relative cell reference. Okay, $8 $4 colon $D $13. So this is a cell referencing you have already learnt in your previous class. Now you have to select copy to another location option in the action section of advanced filter dialog box. Next what you have to do, you have to define the criteria range by displaying column label and criteria, that is $A $1 colon $D $2. Okay, so this is the criteria range. Now you have to define the range in the copy to colon $F $6 $1 $6. This is the range. Okay, now you have to click on the OK button. Okay, as you can see in the figure 4.9, these are the place where you have to define the range. Okay, the list range, criteria range and copy to range. Okay, next what you have to do, you have to click on the OK button. Whenever you are clicking on the OK button, the data will get filtered according to the specified condition and will be copied in the place which you have defined in the copy to text box in the advanced filter dialog box. Okay, so in Microsoft Excel we can also filter and sort the data by cell color also. Okay, next thing is data validation. What is data validation? Data validation is basically restricting the cell entries within a specified range. This is the data validation. This is used to restrict the cell entries within a specified range. So how can we use the data validation option? For using data validation, first we have to select a cell range, that is E5 colon E13. Now we have to go to the data tab, then data validation in the data tools group. Whenever we are clicking on the data validation option, the data validation dialog box will appear, as you can see in the figure 4.11. Okay, now in the settings, the settings tab is selected by default for the data validation dialog box. Okay, now in allow drop down list we have to select the whole number option. In data drop down list we have to select between option, or the between option is selected by default. Okay, next in minimum text box we have to type 0 and maximum text box we have to type 100. Now we have to click on the input message tab, title, in title text box type validation in input message. Okay, as you can see in that picture, you have to specify everything in those boxes. Okay, now you have to type greater than equal to 0 and less than equal to 100, and you have to click the error alert tab and type input is wrong in the error message box. Okay, so what does this error message do? If you give an input beyond that range, it will be shown the input, the error alert will show a error message that whatever you will be type in that error message box. Okay, now you have to click OK to close the dialog box. Then if you want to try enter data beyond the specified limit in the selected range, an error message will be displayed. Click on retry to enter another value in the cell. Okay, so this is how you can use the data validation option. What is next? Next is adding subtotal in database. How can we add subtotal in database? The subtotal feature in a database helps us to manage, analyze and extract specific information from rows of related data. To apply subtotals, the database must be sorted. Okay, so how can we do that? First, we have to open a new worksheet and enter the data as shown in the figure 4.12. Okay, you can see in the figure. Now you have to select any cell within the range and choose data tab, then subtotal option in the outline group. The subtotal dialog box appears. We have to choose the month from at each change in drop down list. Okay, now to calculate the sum of cells, we have to select the sum function from use function drop down list, and in add subtotal to list box we have to select the cells checkbox. Okay, now we have to deselect the replace current subtotals option by clicking on its checkbox. This option overrides the existing subtotal if already calculated. Okay, so the summary below data checkbox is marked by default. This option will place the total below the data of each month. Now we have to click on OK. The subtotals will be displayed as shown in the figure 4.14. Okay, so this is how we can adding the subtotal or using the sum function in a database. Okay, next thing is analyzing data with pivot table. What is pivot table? The pivot or pivot table is powerful tool for consolidating, summarizing and presenting data. Okay, so how can we create a pivot table or pivot table? We have to enter the given data in a new worksheet and select the entire data range as you can see in the figure 4.15. Okay, so this is how you have to type the data, you have to enter all the given data in a new worksheet and you have to select the entire data range as you can see in the picture. Now you have to choose the insert tab, then pivot table option in the tables group. Okay, so you have to click on the insert tab, then go to the tables group, then you have to click on the pivot table option. The create pivot table dialog box will appear. The create pivot table dialog box looks like the picture of the figure 4.16 as you can see. Okay, this is how a create pivot table dialog box looks like. In the table or range text box, the range is displayed that you have selected for the table. Okay, the new worksheet radio button is selected by default. You have to click on the OK button. Whenever you are clicking on the OK button, the create pivot table dialog box will be closed. Okay, so now the pivot table layout is displayed on the new worksheet and the pivot table field list task pane appears on the right side of the screen. Okay, so the figure 4.18, this is how a pivot table layout looks like, and the figure 4.17 is pivot table field list. Okay, now you have to click and drag the name field from the choose fields to add to report pane and drop it into the row levels quadrant as shown in the figure 4.17. Okay, now you have to drag the designation field into the column levels quadrant and you have to drag the salary field into the values quadrant. Your worksheet should look similar to figure 4.8. Okay, so whenever you are completing the dragging part, the layout should look like the figure number 4.18. Okay, you can rearrange the data in any way you like. You can also change the place of the buttons here if you do not like their placement, like undo button, etc. Okay, so you can do that also. This is how we can analyze data with pivot table. Okay, so this is the chapter all about. Listen to the video carefully, read your book properly. In our next class, we will be discussing about the exercises.